So the time has come. Uh, you may notice something there on my forehead. It's Ash Wednesday today, uh, and this video is for Thursday, the Thursday after Ash Wednesday. And I'm gonna try to keep this to 2 to 3 minutes and see how I do. You know, Lent is a time for combat, and maybe not the normal sense of combat that we're used to. I want to uh, suggest something, maybe a lens to look at the combat of Lent. You know, in the readings for Thursday, it's almost like God is representing um, the Adam and Eve choice, right? In the garden, he tells them, "Hey, see that tree? Don't eat from it, because if you do, you're gonna die." And in the first reading here from tomorrow's Mass, it's from Deuteronomy, and Moses is telling the people, choose life rather than death. Because if you choose death, you'll die. But if you choose life, you'll live, and all your descendants will live. And the psalm talks about anchoring one's self in the Lord. Blessed the man who follows not the counsel of the wicked. Don't choose death. Nor walks in the way of sinners. Why? Because that's the way to death. Nor sits in the company of the insolent. Why? Yeah, it's deathly company. But he delights in the law of the Lord and meditates on his law day and night. He's like a tree planted near running water. Yields fruit in due season. It's like a tree of life, right? So we want to be rooted in life. Gospel. Jesus says, if you want to come after me, deny yourself. Oh, and take up your cross daily. And follow me. Whoever wishes to save his life will lose it. But whoever loses his life for my sake will save it. What profit is there for one to gain the whole world yet lose or forfeit his soul, himself? Life or death. And Jesus is this paradox where the way to real life is through death. For us, it's death to selfishness. That's when we talk about death to self, that's what it means. Death to our selfishness. And living to selflessness. So, do you want to follow Jesus? Well, you got to lose your life. You got to die to self. So that real life that was won for us from the tree of life that Jesus died on, so that life can resurrect in us. And I think the combat of Lent is letting Jesus win the wrestling match. Letting what Jesus says be. Like, we have all sorts of lies that we believe, all sorts of ways that we pursue sin and death. We fight the Lord a lot. We don't always mean to, but we do. We don't trust that what he says is true. Adam and Eve didn't, and they knew much better than you and I. And they still chose not to trust him. Adam and Eve were invited to combat. and they lost. They lost bad. And the result of it was their spiritual and physical death. You and I are invited to combat. Whether we like it or not, we're in it. And it's simple, but it's not easy. I want to suggest that during this time of combat, of Lent, that the way to victory, to winning, saving our life, is by being still. I lose my life. Jesus, I'm gonna let you win my heart. Be still and know that I am God. In other words, my child, be still. You're my child. You're not God. All of our trouble starts when we try to be God. Just be you. But let him tell you who you are, beloved.